Turn to another murder in Muskegon Heights. Another teen lost to the streets. Tonight, his family hopes that the pain hits home for the city's youth. 24-Hour News 8's Leon Hendricks is live out at the crime scene tonight in the Heights. Leon, what can you tell us?
Hey, Brian, I just checked with authorities. Still no arrests in this. The suspect still at large, and police are still investigating and looking for tips. Sadly, the people who live in this general area say that the sound of gunfire isn't unusual, but this time there was something that's a little bit more unusual. Here in the streets here where that victim was found, they heard him moaning, begging for help. And the community, of course, is simply sick of this type of news.
How you know how hard it's going to be for me to bury my grandson?
It's a question impossible to answer and a crime difficult to understand. A 17-year-old boy, the victim of gun violence in the street.
He loved peanut butter and jelly.
Dequarius Love was 17 years old, a football and basketball player at Muskegon Heights High. He had hopes of going pro.
He was dedicated to his game.
So much so that he'd wake up grandma's neighbors, perfecting it in their driveway.
He loved sports. He lived and slept sports. He'd get up in the morning to practice basketball at 3 o'clock in the morning.
The shooting happened on Peck Street. The shots came from a vehicle in this alley off of Hune, police say. Neighbors say there were a lot of shots, then moaning in the street. After everyone cleared, Dequarius, who had initially been able to run away, collapsed here in front of the post office. He was shot and later died.
He loved his granny. He loved his mama. And he was always here for me. I don't want my grandson being a number. And that's where he became a number.
This year, that number is daunting. Now 7 homicides in a city of less than 11,000.
Now he's one of the kids that got killed in Muskegon Heights.
And this is the second major tragedy that has hit this victim's immediate family. His father was actually killed in 2012. He died while in police custody after being pepper sprayed. That case is now being, a lawsuit has been filed against authorities in that case. As far as the homicide here, police are still investigating. Anyone with information asked to call 231-72-CRIME. Again, that's 231-72-CRIME, and you can remain anonymous. Right now, we are reporting live in the Heights. Leon Hendricks, 24-Hour News 8.
So sad, Leon. Thank you. We're taking this story even further today. We went through police records last month to find out just how dire the situation is in Muskegon Heights. When we dug through the crime rates, here's what we found. It was that violent crime per 100,000 people was worse in Muskegon Heights in 2013 than it was in Flint, and nearly 3 times higher than it was in Grand Rapids. Among the biggest issues is the poverty situation. Nearly half of the population is living below the poverty line. That's a higher number than both Flint and Detroit. Joining us live to talk about the problems that Muskegon Heights is facing right now, City Councilman Eddie Jenkins. Mr. Jenkins, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, those are some troubling stats and certainly some bad news recently about these shootings and deaths. What are you hearing about resident reaction? Are there groups being formed to try and stop this? What are people saying there to you?
Well, basically, you know, when you think about what's going on here, there are a lot of us that are tired of the senseless killings that's going on, even not only the senseless killings, but the senseless shootings that's actually happening. And this isn't a march time right now. Right now, as leaders, we need to step up and really put action together. We need to have a concrete plan for a lot of things that's happening instead of flying blind. And I do feel that's what we've been doing a lot of lately.
Tell us a little bit more about the concrete plans that you're talking about putting in place.
Well, at this point, it's not going to just be me, myself. It will actually have to take my colleagues as well. Us as the city council, I believe that the problems we are having, we need to start from the head on down at this point. Regardless of how good certain people are as far as their character, right now we have to focus on the business of the city, and we're not handling that well. We don't have precise plans, and I think that's something that we need to have more of, because there's too many families being hurt. And the only way that I could think of right now is to talk to the rest of the council members and bring this to the board about how certain head of departments need to really step up their efforts, or we need to change those heads of departments.
Okay. Mr. Jenkins, thank you for joining us. We certainly wish you the best of luck, and we'll continue to follow this situation in Muskegon Heights. Thank you.
Thank you so much.